Að sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Varl human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Oh, I hope the mic is working. Well, some shit went down already. I didn't even cause that one. Quarantine's over. I don't know what he said, but I think that was an insult. Welcome to the Banner Saga, everybody. You've arrived just in time. The chieftain of Red and his men are now looking for a tougher fight than they bargained for. And these portraits should show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Our allies are blue, enemy is red. It's your turn to attack. Movement happens before action. The ring shows your shield banger is active. The blue tiles around him show where he can move. Some characters fill more tiles than others. The Horned Allies are a race of giants called Varl, who take up 4 tiles each. While humans fill a single tile, this can have a huge impact on your strategy. Trust me, only a few characters can move through other units, so yeah, that can get annoying. Click the tile you want to move to, then click the check mark to confirm. Let's go flex on this guy. You can choose to either attack the enemy's strength or break armor. Strength counts as both health and damage. A loss of 2 strength means you'll now do 2 less damage. Yeah, so don't let that thing fall to 0. Armor blocks strength damage, but can be reduced by a break attack. By breaking armor, you open up to take further damage in the future. Basically, it's temporary protection if it's not broken. An enemy with only 5 strength remaining. A strength attack will kill him. Ow. And kills are how you get more renown, aka the closest thing to currency in this game. Now it's the enemy's turn. Yeah, that didn't work. Now's your Warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of the other enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your Warhawk has a special ability that can allow him to hit anyone around him. So, yeah, that was easy. And now we're in Pillage, which is basically a last man standing. In short, since the chieftain is the last guy left, he's gonna move, and then everyone on my side moves. Unfortunately, he decided to rest this turn instead of run like a bitch, meaning I'm just gonna do this and use willpower to shank him. Now let's watch a cutscene.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather
Yeah, well, peace was never an
built all
option.
this from a poor fishing village, you know.
I don't
He
care.
watched the gods die.
Ah, damn it.
Watched the chaos that followed. Watched man and Varl slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves.
Hey, I play games to avoid human politics, not get into them.
A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair.
Then give
This one had been
give him the chair and buy yourself another one.
both north and south of the city, strangling trade quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting.
It looks pretty
because
good
the
for a
head
guy
is
who
cut
probably
off.
got
It
who
just
supposedly
grows a new
really
head.
got stabbed just now. Maybe he's just playing dead.
I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe.
Ooh, bribery,
Take
that works.
Any men you need. They're loyal. I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Oh yeah, I also like how, like, this guy is just sitting there. Either he's dead or he's full of arrows and he's contemplating his life choices. Only the sun has stopped, and somehow that is the least of the problems in this world. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? Yeah, you can make dialogue choices in this game. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate that since all of the first chapter of this game is a tutorial, so I can't really go off the beaten path. It is? The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. Seems a bit chaotic around here, Eric. It's been worse. We got a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want exactly? Scalpings you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. I was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Yeah, okay. Click this thing. Do the thing. Let me handle this. You meander through the rows of open houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Had, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The scalping chieftains bled an hour ago, Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's gonna try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. Let's see how this plays out and say nothing. Like a true Telltale character. Eric overturns his flimsy table, scattering Had's assortment of junk across the ground. Gods! Eric, laying it a bit heavy, don't you think? Where are the scalpings? Noblemen, up by Eastwall. Oh, but that was months ago last I know. Had skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while till this blows over you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gunnulf, were you wearing Kareen back at the Great Hall? Nope, just bought him. Bought him while you were walking around. Why? Look good. Glad you care. Gunnulf goes out to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seemed unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be scalping. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a meat hall. Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these scowls on the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? What a luxury. Come on, we've already mopped up worse today. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. Before we get into combat, though, I am going to say I'm putting the difficulty to easy mode. As you can tell, injuries are something this game has as a mechanic. If your hero goes down mid-fight, they will sustain injury and be weaker next time. As much as I want to play with that, actually I don't, I'd rather not have to spend every fight panicking panicking because now I have to plan 5 fights ahead about who will be injured, so we're just going to go with easy. Heck, even the game acknowledges it. If you're just here for the plot, just play easy mode. You arrive in front of what must be noblemen, and a few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door. They ran into a mead house, says Valgard. I'll be surprised I could stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots open the front door so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of the table, his axe on. Wide-eyed, drunken scalping scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead signs in the process. Ubin is not helping anyone today, so let's just place everyone where I can say they'll be best. Now, here is something to remember. Every kill the more kills somebody gets, the more they can level up using Renown. Why I'm telling you this is because if you're playing, Valgard and the Shieldbanger do not appear again in this game. So, if you want to actually get your money's worth of this, let Eric and Gunnulf get all the kills on the scalpings. Do not let anyone else do it. With all that said, I was hoping for more of a fight than this. Look at him. It's going to be a butchery. I'm not going to use Will to move Valgard, so let's get him up here. Oh yeah, this is also another mechanic they didn't explain. Exertion. It's the amount of willpower any unit can give. Though, usually with some exceptions like Gunnulf, anyone can use 3 once powered up. With all that said, smack! Oh yeah, this game also has a morale system, so that's why some of the units, if you notice on their stats, look like they have more willpower than they should. Could. Like how a guy who's supposed to only have 3 max has 5. Caravan's morale gives him 2 at the highest. Oh yeah, and passive, if you're wondering, is abilities that these guys have. For Gunnulf, he does 1 splash damage attack for around where he hits. Ugh, I cannot speak today. As for Shieldbanger, when hit by an adjacent enemy, counterattack for 1 armor. Hence why he just blew all his armor, wasting it in an attack. With all that said, yeah, I'm gonna try to get 3 kills on Gunnulf here, since Eric is gonna take a bit to actually get into the fray of things. So, well, next chapter he'll be fully available. So after this, we won't really be using him. See, 2 kills, promotion. So we'll have everyone rest, though this can technically help get willpower back, and let's finish the job. Victory. Your foes lying dead at your feet would... basically, they'd regret it. Promotions all around, it chalks up your willpower and so forth. There they are. Not to be damned, I gotta go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay, a fleet of longships approaching with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Varl Kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guess. See what I have to deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. You'd hoped I have a stake in saying, everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there's no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask you one more favor? Let's not be a dick. What is it? If you happen to stall our guest down on the docks, I won't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Valgard hustle from the meat house. To his credit, Eric tossed the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to meet the new arrivals down at the docks. Ah, yes, Valgard, and I'm sure we'll never see him again in the trilogy. Well, let's go greet him. Vognir. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you can recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Ubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is Vognir, there must be Hakon. Must there? So bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks? At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Surrender demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arborang, in fact. I'm glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazed in red. The king of men are somewhat on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. And you're off to Grofheim. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have a distinct feeling I finished my business in Strange. I was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is, the prince is a delight to behold. Where's Mogir? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. As I'm off to find Mogir. Good to see you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road to Grofheim should be a lot more interesting than most years, you think? I apologize for my stuttering. I have no idea why I do it. Well, not stuttering, more stammering as I try to pile off 5 words at once. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it's been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with a Khan, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Yep, sometimes in moments like this, you can talk to the other characters and get some more info out of them. Let's start with a Khan. Scrivener! You find a Khan in a meat house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. That Khan waves you over. Went straight for a flagon? Vognir's the one who agreed to pass him a drink. He wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What's this time? I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yoxford, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge of Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. This is another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the meat house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. And now for Ludin, our resident kinda douchebag for most of this game. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you're with Vognir? I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim, with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. Varl historian? Don't you already know? Your king and mine have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities. I've been on the road for a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Arborang, and now we go to the Varl's capital in Grofheim to cement this grand alliance for the next age of men in Varl. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it. It's damn cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. Well, that was something. Day skip. At dawn, you're awoken by delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mouth's surprise. Wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. The guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Vognir is already there. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Mogir steps forward, Vognir's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We're ready. You follow Mognir and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be more than enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort, just frustrated, tired people. Well, it summarizes Strandwell as a whole, you think. And off we go! Underlay! That place looks ominous. Nothing happening in the segment. Please get the prompt open already, game. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Mogir, cracking open meat has. From our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter, I don't know how to pronounce that, as the meat is passed throughout camp. Let's toast the Vognir. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Varl. The others join in. Ludin's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit beside Vognir. Let's chat with him. Thanks for the speech, slurs Vognir. Looks like you didn't have to miss that after all. Thanks to Mogir. I thought the damn governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Ludin? Hopefully that goes back to Arborang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like a con. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Ha! Don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your knee instead of replying. Vognir slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be warriors would follow you for what you did. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Vognir. Vognir stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. And now we're in camp. Your eyes groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Mogir is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Vognir. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Vognir releases a caged yawn, and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Ha! We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come on, I'll show you on a map. This is the map of the world. And as you can tell, it's a friggin' big one. Location of your character fan is indicated here by Ubin's icon. We are here. And if we click on, let's say Grofheim, we get a bit of lore. And as you can tell, there is a lot of lore you can click on with this. Like, most of the map's icons you can touch and get a bit of lore out of it. I'm not going to go through this for the sake of sanity, but let's just say there is a lot of it. We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. Should have drank last night, Ludin. Why not take the ships to Skrimmerstead? Skrimmerstead? Well, I'll go with that. What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. The bay's covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. Could have shown you all the wonders of Skrimmerstead. Damn it. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredging glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through his nose. A poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Vognir. He seems no happier to be here than you. And a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off, too. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Vognir. Let's get moving. Another half-day to Venderfell if we're lucky. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel hub. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip them in the hero's tent. You can pass time here using the rest tent. Resting will improve your caravan's morale. At a high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your will for combat. Each passing day uses supplies, so only rest when necessary. Training will allow you to safely travel battle. It's mostly just in case you want to try something. Sorry about that. Let's click on Gunnulf. This will show you his ability, and if we hit this, promote him. Now we can use Exertion. Yeah, as you can see, this is the amount of kills they need, and it will tell you how much renown they're needed. Also, if you click this, small little bios. Again, I'm not going to read through all of them, but it is cool that they have these little backgrounds for characters on their sheets. Have Gunnulf, Ludin, Khan, and Mogir. Little suspicious as to why Vognir isn't on this list, though. Oh well, probably just something important.
Venderfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
That's a lot of giants right there. Like, a lot of them. Also, I do like the appreciation that your hero units walk in front of the caravan and you can tell who is who. By Hedderborg, that's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. I've always seen men up the hills carrying them away. Not many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Scoffing's out here, maybe? Do they have Varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to take a look around to get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sits up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food you got. For hundreds of Varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. You hear that? Where's Ludin? It's faint. Sounds of fighting and something else. Hakon takes off in a run. Well. Oh shit. Clicking on any tile, well, yeah, this is just for... Spearmen can attack diagonally and up to 2 tiles away. Kick the top right banner to compare your stats with... Yep, and if we try to hit him with full armor... Oops. Deflected attacks do no damage. From here on, you will fail catastrophically if you don't break armor. And... Man down. Send in the backup. Now, I'd say for this fight, try to sort of prioritize getting points for Hakon, because he's really good at combat. But on the other hand, just kill everything. Eesh. Then we get this. Whenever enemy falls in battle, 1 willpower star will be added to your horn. Sorry, Gunno. Well, yeah, we can regain willpower using that horn, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat, considering willpower is a finite resource. Every kill gives you 1 back. Interesting about Dredge, as you notice, Splinter. 3 armor damage to Dredge causes 1 armor damage to chain up on all adjacent Dredge. So, if we do over 3, he takes some armor damage. But let's finish this off and get some points for Hakon. And that's the end of that. You're trying to get yourself killed, Ludin. What are you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. Ever seen a Dredge before, boy? What kind of idiot? Break their armor first. Where do they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Vognir lies face down. The future king of Varl lies motionless, aside from a spreading pool of blood. Vognir's dead. That's a hell of a first chapter. However, I feel like that's going to be all the Banner Saga for now, so well, thanks for anyone watching, and tune in next time where we continue the Banner Saga with Chapter 2, Cut with Keen-Edged Sword. See you then!